And a key sign that OPEC may finally be catching a break while oil prices are lower so far this year and remain near the $50 level. The market for Brent futures may be telling us that the oil price is finally, or the oil market rather, is finally starting to rebalance. Joining us to explain is Alex Longley, oil trading reporter for Bloomberg News. So, Alex, this is all about backwardation. That's right. And we saw yesterday this big move in the oil curve structure. The first time since the middle of 2014 that slightly further down the oil curve we see this backwardated structure. What that means is supplies now are looking pretty scarce compared to those further forward, and that's causing traders to bid up or to buy the nearest futures contracts. What's interesting particularly about this chart isn't the length of time it's been without seeing that structure. That's a few years, but actually when we were last there, crude prices were at $100 a barrel, and that tells you something about the way the physical oil market's looking at the moment. Things have really quite suddenly got a lot tighter and a lot more bullish over a short period of time this summer.
What's causing that, Alex? I have OPEC go on my Bloomberg terminal right now to show everybody, exactly what compliance is and so forth. Is it the threat of more sanctions and sort of constraints on supply, or what is it exactly?
Well, actually, rather than supply, it's been demand that's the story this time round. We've really seen sort of rocketing refinery input this summer. Things looking pretty good in the US, and you speak to traders as well, and you hear that. Talking to physical guys, you hear this idea that actually, when you see buying on the ground, it's really taking off, and cargoes are starting to move even in places like the North Sea, where things were a little trickier earlier in the year. So it's more the demand side of the equation that's been looking up. Supply perhaps not so great, especially if you look at what the IEA had to say today about OPEC compliance, but as long as demand is exceeding supply, then the oil market's going to come into balance a bit quicker. Yeah,
but Alex, speaking of demand, though, we've had a cut in estimates from the IEA.
That's right, and they made some pretty big revisions to historical demand figures as well. An inventory decline that was supposed to have happened at the end of last year pretty much has disappeared, according to the IEA now.
Right.
And so there are some negative factors as well. The IEA certainly call into question this idea that demand's rocketing. But when you look at some of the bank statements this week, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, they're buying into this idea that demand's looking pretty good. Right. Where it goes going forward is the problem.